Okay, so I want to tell a little story about this guy that was in my battery in the army. His name was Doyle, Brian Doyle. And for those of you who didn't hear my last story where I talked about him, I'll reiterate it. He was about my age. He was from Long Island to Mineola. Graduated with a bachelor's degree from Cornell, Ivy League schools, one of the smartest people I ever met. Really, really smart. And I don't know how he ended up in the army as enlisted in artillery, but somehow he ends up there. And he was really, really high speed. I think he was kind of overqualified for artillery. And it showed because he made sergeant in like the bare 2 year minimum. But this guy, I say Ivy League, he dispelled any stupid stereotypes people have in their head about Ivy League kids. That they're these boring, squared, humorless guys in sweater vests that just study 24 hours a day and never have fun. They never party. Nothing. Bullshit. If you ever met Doyle, you would never think anything like that. Because this guy was Ivy League and he was out of his fucking mind. I mean, like, he's one of the craziest people in our unit. And, like, he was oh man, he was one of our resident alcoholics. Every unit has the resident alcoholics. The guy that's drunk from, like, the end of formation on Friday to Monday morning, he's fucking wasted. Every weekend. And always doing some dumb or stupid shit while he's at it. Like the time that I'm in my room in the barracks, I'm sleeping, it's like 3 in the morning on a Tuesday. All of a sudden, I get this knock on my door. The fuck is knocking on my door? I open it and it's Doyle standing there. Obviously, he's drunk again. I'm like, yo, Doyle, what do you want? It's 3 a.m. Goes, hey, man, you got any butter? What? Do I have butter? Like, yeah, man, I'm like cooking something. I need to borrow a little butter. No, I don't have any butter. Go away. It's 3 in the morning. Formation in like 3 hours. What? No. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And he proceeds to walk all the way down the hallway in the barracks, knock on every other door, and do the same shit. Yeah, what's up, Doyle? Hey, you got any butter? No. Leave me alone, Doyle. He'd slam the door in his face. Go to the next room. Hey, you got any butter? And he just, like, all the way down the hallway. And, like, who does shit like this? Only him. And, oh, man, this one time, when I say he was a drunk, he decides to go out to the bars in Watertown. It's the town that's next to Fort Drum. And I'll give him credit. He took a taxi back. He was smart enough to do that, not drive his car drunk. But instead, he makes up for it by, when the taxi gets to the gate, the security gate to get on post, for no reason at all, he just starts slapping the fucking cab driver in the back of the head. Right in front of the gate guards. And the cab driver's thinking like, who is this fucking maniac and why is he slapping me? And the gate guard's probably thinking like, what the fuck? Like he'd never seen anything like this before. Who does this at the gate? And of course, this gets back to our first sergeant, Amaral. And Amaral's pissed. First sergeants hate dealing with this type of shit. Like they don't want to hear anything from anyone on a weekend. That's a good weekend for them, for the whole chain of command. And now he has to address this crap on Monday morning, and we're in formation, and he goes, you know what I really hate? When soldiers are doing stupid shit on a weekend, like getting drunk and slapping the fucking cab driver at the gate. Oh, man. But I think the best thing I ever heard Doyle say or do was when he told me this story, and I believe it too, because it's something only he would do. Well, one time, him and his friend took this flight from New York to Chicago, And of course, Doyle's always looking for a way to beat the system and find a loophole. So him and his friend get this bright idea to pretend that they're disabled and they can't walk, so they could get around all the security lines and get on the plane faster. So they steal some wheelchairs from the airport and start wheeling themselves around. And then, of course, everyone's like, oh, you poor little disabled guys. And everyone believed they were in wheelchairs. So they got wheeled to the front of the security line. They got to go through security first. And they wheeled them all the way onto the plane ahead of everybody. All the way to their seats. And they, helped them into their seats and everything, right? And the plane goes all the way to Chicago. And it lands. And then, of course, now they don't need to be disabled anymore. So when the plane gets to the gate in Chicago, Doyle and his friend just simply get up and start walking off the plane. And of course, everybody witnessed them coming on in wheelchairs. And now they're walking. And like this, people are pissed. Because, it's like fucked up to pretend that you have a disability to get an advantage. People don't like that. And this one guy goes, what the hell is this? You guys are not disabled? And Doyle looks at the guy and goes, it's a miracle. That's what it is. And he just turns around and walks off the plane. And that's it. Only Doyle would do some shit like this. Like I said, wow. I would have paid to be there and see that shit. But yeah, this is the story of Doyle, the great Brian Doyle. What a guy. What a fucking guy.